Welcome back to Natty Auto. We are here in the warehouse. I have the GTS here tonight, and we also have some brand new goodies from Icon and Harbor Freight. So we're gonna get this GTS out, we're gonna bring the 190E in and the C63. So hopefully you enjoy the video. Before we get unboxing, of course I had to grab my Celsius because Celsius is what is making me live through this whole entire build. Yeah, it is 38 degrees right now, it's 9 o'clock at night, so let's get started. Completely forgot. So when we pulled the C63 out the other day after stripping it, we ran into an issue. That issue was that there was no throttle, no acceleration at all, unless you started it up and it would give a little bit of throttle right away, but then that was it. So we have to diagnose that problem first before we can actually drive it in here. It's under 40 degrees outside, it's windy, and it's dark. It's about almost 10 o'clock now. So let's go hopefully find out what it is and make sure that we can get it in here. Haven't really given you guys a tour of what we do here, and we'll probably do that in the next video, but just kind of a quick view of some of the toys that we have here. Here is the C63. We threw the doors back on because they pop on and off really easily, so that when it rained and whatnot, it wouldn't destroy anything on the inside. So right now, what we have is no light, which is kind of hard. So let me grab a light. Okay. Well, we grabbed a light from inside. Whew, out of breath. So here is the C63 stripped. We left the center console and the dash so that we'd be able to move it still while we cut everything off. But yeah, we can't move it at all now because there's no throttle. My first thought was I damaged some kind of connection when we took this pedal out to remove the carpet, but I re-examined the electrical connection and it's just a multiplex cable and there's no pins or anything damaged and it clips in perfectly fine. So I don't think it's that. What it could possibly be is that somehow I damaged the wire along here. I'm not sure if I did. I checked everywhere and I checked all along this whole entire ribbon here. There is no damaged connections and I have yet to check underneath there, but I don't think there's any reason that anything should be damaged under there because I didn't do anything. So let's dive into that real quick. So here is the main harness coming from front to rear and then going to the dash, which could have something in it. Our ground looks good on both sides, thankfully, and I don't see any immediate wires that could have been damaged. The only thing is I have a little bit of water down here from a rainstorm, but all the wires and connections look dry. And of course this problem happened before the rain, so I don't think it's because of that. One possibility that I'm thinking of now is that we do not have a seat hooked in. Knowing Mercedes and knowing how overly engineering they like to be, is that if there is no seat in here, then we might not be able to move it at all. Because they might say, hey, there's no seat in here, you should not be able to drive this thing. And yes, rightfully so, that is dangerous, but it would be fun. So let's first grab the seat, throw it in here, and see how well it does. So unfortunately, we packed this whole entire trailer full of all the parts from the C63 and the 190E. But only thing that's good is that the seats are both here. The driver's seat, which is the one we need to get to, is on the bottom, which is unfortunate, but they're right back here, which means we could get them. But yeah, not fun that they're packed in here. Okay, so we got the seat over here. So let's go ahead and plug what we can in. I have this magnetic light. Get these on Amazon. They're like 20 bucks for a pack of like 3. And for the most part, they stay everywhere and you can just stick them on anything. They're amazing. So if we're doing car interiors and whatnot, they're perfect. Luckily, we labeled every connection so we can quickly just take off some of this tape, hopefully. Let's see, what do we have here? Way too many connectors, unfortunately, but let's see, this one looks like it goes there. This one goes to there. White goes to white. This one looks like a solid ground cable to that. So I guess let's throw the seat in real quick. Okay, so could not get the seat in. Figured that I should probably try anything before I... Okay, so it turns on. And I still have no throttle. This is very unfortunate. So luckily, guys, there was one more connection on the seat that I did not see. It was a little tiny wire. I don't know what it goes to. Probably airbags, something like that. Safety restraint system, could be the seatbelt. So yeah, so now we have throttle. Okay, so now that we got the C63 in here, we're going to see what we need to cut off down here, and then where we need to cut on the line of the side pillar, right about here. And so we're gonna start measuring. We're gonna go back and forth between the 190E, so there's not gonna be a whole bunch of footage of that, but we'll walk through and see what I come up with where we need to start cutting. So pretty much what we have starting here is we have this laser level, projects a level here, and then it projects a line straight across the car. We just take a measurement on this side here, and then a measurement on the same side over there, making sure that it's perfectly square. And we're doing that off the front center of the wheel, so we have perfect square when we do our cut here, because we do have to cut this whole entire body in half. And before I cut these pillars or anything and cut the whole entire roof off, I want to do these lines just in case something sags here from the lack of structure here. So right now I'm marking that. Then we're going to mark where we can cut these pillars off, and then remove some thickness from these sides here, because right here that we're finding, this is 4 inches from this flange to here, and it is all structural, but we can't use any of that. The 190E, the inside of the door, sits all the way up against right about this flange here. So all of this needs to get removed, and then we have to put a structural bar after this gets removed inside of here. So the structure is going to go from all the way up front, run all the way to the back right about here after it's cut. And then that will give the whole entire side some structure. And then we'll have a mounting point on the inside here that will be for our roll cage. Some people said that we should do a kind of a built-in roll cage where you don't see it and it goes up the pillars, but we kind of want to go with the style of having a X for a roll cage and then some main braces going back here to where most of the structure is. So when we do that, it'll be all visible. We'll have racing harnesses and it will look great as well. So as we're pretty much taking the wiring harness right now, and we are trying to get the wiring harness all free and clear of the chassis. We will still leave a lot of things plugged in, like the fuel tank and some sensors, but because we won't have to cut all of this, we just have to cut out here. So we can make sure that we're just very careful with these, and we can leave them all on. That saves us a lot of time in the end. But there's a lot of stuff that we're trying to figure out, like, do we need these things when the car is finished? So I looked up this part number, and it is called a yaw rate speed sensor, and pretty much what it does is it sits flush on the floor, and it is able to tell how fast the car is spinning either way in the center. This is apparently the center of the car, and it tells the yaw of the car for traction control and the ESP system. There's a little tiny level inside of this that is able to do so. Very cool feature that I don't know I've never heard of in a car. I'm assuming it's probably in a lot of cars, but something that's just you wouldn't think of. So very cool little tiny things that are going to be in this build like that, and that's why we wanted to use the C63 chassis, because having the complexity of all of these things is so much fun. Being able to have ESP, have paddle shifters, and just drive a car like a modern car, but have that style of an old car is just so cool. So that's amazing. So pretty much what we just did was protect the wiring harness. We disconnected all of the things that were in the trunk. We have a ECU, a TCM, something. It's a pretty large box, body control module, not sure exactly what it is, but disconnected it in the trunk, moved it up here, replugged it in. We're gonna try and get all of the wiring harnesses and management system mounted right over the fuel tank here, because we're not going to be removing that, and we'll just cover it all with a tarp so that it's waterproof. We wrapped this line of wires here in a tape that's like a cloth tape, so we can remove it, but it protects it from us crushing it, stepping on it, or ripping it, because we want to make sure that that whole entire harness is good. Pretty much now that that is free and away from this whole entire structural bit here of the frame, we are going to make our first cut here, and then it goes along the bottom. We're going to pretty much take this whole entire cover off all the way along this point. Then this pillar goes. Yeah, so let's get cutting. So pretty much what you see me doing in the time lapse is cutting a little bit here on the sill, and then I'm adding a little bit of water to where I cut, because underneath all this paneling is lots of little bits of foam, sound deadening, and stuff that can possibly catch fire. And since I can't see what's behind here, a cautious thing to do is always spray water where you just cut so that it seeps down in there and can put out any flames that could start. So we don't need this thing going up, especially inside the warehouse. When we cut the car in half, we're probably gonna be doing it outside since we're gonna be a little close to the fuel tank. So yeah. Whew, I am exhausted, but we are still going right now. It's about 2 a.m. We have the rear off here, and then we have the driver's side B pillar off. We took those off so that we could be able to see what we're working with on welds, because we don't want to take too much off, so we want to cut right on the welds, and I'll show you right where we did that just now. And then on here on the rear, we're going to be using this back section on the 190E, so we get to retain all that factory body. We get to use the factory frame rail mounts right here on the 190E, and then same with the whole entire wheel wells and the strut towers. Well guys, it is the next day. Yesterday got really tired, got really late. It was like 4:30 in the morning. So kind of cut it quits there, but wanted to continue the video the next day. And we've got, what's up guys? So yeah, so Ivan's here today, which is really good. We'll be able to jump in, get a little bit more done, and then also get a whole bunch more shots, more cinematic stuff, because he is the videographer. Toy Riot on Instagram, so definitely go check out his videos and his photos, because they're amazing. And if you're in the Arizona area, definitely hit him up for photos. So without further ado, let's jump back into it. So as Ivan is editing a video, probably this video I think he's editing, I have to try and remove this rear windshield. Never removed a windshield before. This is a windshield we don't need, so if it gets destroyed, don't care. But this is gonna be a first, so definitely enjoy watching us fail. Oh well, that is the just in case angle brought to you by the FX30. There's a little something up here we couldn't get. We didn't need it. I'm sorry. What is it, Demi? What is it? That says Descansa. Descansa. I can't read Spanish. I'm sorry, Descansa. Your windshield is now gone. Well, we didn't need it anyways, and we were gonna throw it in the dumpster anyways, so this is more just of a trial for us to learn. And we learned that we can't do it with the Sawzall. Nothing, I think we went all the way through. I do want to note real quick, yes, we don't have, doesn't look like we have safety glasses on, but Ivan and I both wear contacts, so we are perfectly safe, eyes are good. It's actually OSHA approved. If OSHA, you're watching this video. So guys, we officially got the whole entire roof, the structure on both sides here. The pillars completely removed, allowing us to be able to start measuring and possibly get the body for the 190E lowered on the back here. So on the front, the next thing we have to do is remove the windshield. As you saw how the back windshield went, probably won't go as planned, of course, but I might have to call a windshield company to actually remove it, because this is a brand new OEM windshield that the previous owner just put on. You can tell here, it is like a $2,000 windshield, and it's back ordered a couple months, so I don't want to break that. Possibly I want to just get it out nicely, remove it nicely, and see if the Mercedes-Benz dealer wants it, or we can sell it online, because that is an expensive windshield, especially being OEM, so we don't want to damage that. But from there, we need to cut the A-pillar here, A-pillar there. We have to do a little bit of adjustment to these structural parts here. Nicely, or thankfully, it is not a huge structural part. All the structure comes up here and into the strut tower over here doesn't matter as much. And then we have to start clearing all of this after that, and we have to cut the strut tower and move about 3 inches inboard on the front of the vehicle. The back, we should be okay, so we'll find out. So guys, it is the end of the night. We've got Ivan over here cranking away at the video for you guys, and I'm just filming while we are taking apart this whole thing. So quick little recap of the night. Ivan's gonna edit that one out. Is we got all of this completely cut away, all the wires, every ground put back in where it needs to go so the car will start. All of this over here is completely cut and cleaned up. We are gonna be removing probably about to right about here past this seam weld. But we don't wanna cut too much off right now, just so that when we put the body on top, there's nothing that we have to add. We'd rather take away than add. So yeah, we put the 2 back doors, 2 passenger side doors on over here so that we didn't have to tarp it or anything. We can protect it from the elements outside. The nice thing is that even though we took all this structure away and we have the doors back on, the doors completely line up and everything, meaning we have a very, very strong floor for this car, and we don't have to add too much structure back into it before we put the new body on. So that is gonna be very nice. Yeah, we talked before about the windshield and all that, and I don't think there's too much more. We cleaned it all up, and that's gonna pretty much be it for the night. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's it. Good night.